Hello everybody. Today we're going to be looking at one method of replacing the default animations for our character. That character being the first person character, the one we've been working with in our example here. To get right into it, the first step is to export the skeleton or the mesh for our character here. So let's just go ahead and edit the first person character. Alright, and we click on those. It lives here. Okay, so this uses the SK mannequin arms. Let's browse to that. Right click, asset actions, export. So you can put this wherever you want. I'm gonna put it, and I'll just put it there. Now, really important, we do not want to export the collision because when we import it into Mixamo, it's not gonna know what to do for that collision. So let's export that. Now that we have that exported, let's go on over to Mixamo. If you don't know what Mixamo is, it's just mixamo.com. And it can basically take any humanoid mesh and skin it for you and add a skeleton for you if you don't already have a skeleton, and then it uses these mocap data sets to animate your character for you, so you don't have to manually animate it. And this is really good for prototyping. You typically wouldn't use these in the final product. You'd probably want something done by an animator, or if you are an animator, you'd want to animate it yourself. Yeah, this is really good for prototyping, and it allows us to have a minimum viable product pretty quickly, just to kind of test out your mechanics or whatever you're looking to do. So anyway, first things first, we want to upload our character, and we can either drag and drop or select a character file. For me, I'm going to drag and drop. Okay, got my mannequin arms FBX. Okay. Sometimes it won't work. We can just try again and it'll do a better job the next time, I've noticed. Okay, yeah. It did it this time. Alright. Alright, that's okay. Moving on. We got our arms there. If we enable the skeleton view, we can see that it's actually the default skeleton for Unreal Engine, but it's just the arms. Like, they've just removed the body and the head and everything else, which is fine, because that means we can use any of these animations for animating our arms here. So let's get those in there. There we go. So let's go back to Unreal Engine, and let's take a look at how they are animating these arms here. If we have our mesh selected, let's actually, I'm gonna get rid of this real quick. There we go. Now we can see. Okay, so if we have our mesh selected, we can see that it's using an animation blueprint, and this is the class that it's using. Let's go ahead and browse to that and open that up. Okay, so if you haven't seen this before, don't worry. I'm not really going to go over this, but this is basically the animation blueprint. This is what drives the animation behind your character. It's similar to any other blueprint, but it has state machines, and you can take a look at your animation graph and see kind of how that works here. So yeah, this isn't a tutorial over like animation blueprints. This is just how to replace the default animations. So yeah, let's go to our state machine. If you don't see it there, you can left click on the animation graph and double click on the new state machine here. So you'll kind of see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 animations that are running. Now I'm only going to show you the idle and the run or the walk, because in the game that I'm making, it isn't going to have a jump, so we don't really need to worry about that. So yeah, if we take a look at this, we can double click on that, and it's outputting from this first person idle animation clip right here. And this is, to get these, you just go to the right over here on your asset browser, and you can drag and drop them to your graph here. You can swap these out if you want. If you want to see the changes, just compile. As you can see, it's now doing the firing animation for the idle. We obviously don't want that, so let's get rid of that. Alright, so we're going to need an idle animation and a walk animation or run animation. Let's go back to Mixamo. And let's look for an idle animation that might work. And since this is a first-person character, I'm thinking that we want to actually see the hands while we're idling, because if you don't have them in the view of the camera, it kind of breaks the immersion. But I already found one earlier. It's actually I'm gonna search for clown. Yeah, there's like this pack of like clown animations, but this one seems to actually work pretty well with our model. And you can even like adjust the arm level. You can adjust the arm space. So yeah, that's looking pretty good right there. Let's just go for it. We're gonna download that. Download it as FBX, 30 frames per second, with skin, keyframe reduction none. Okay, so we have our idle animation. Now we need a walk animation. Okay, I know of one. There we go. He's gonna be happy. Perfect. Maybe give him a little more space. There we go. Okay. Download that. Same settings. Okay. So let's go back to Unreal and let's try importing these animations. I'm gonna grab my idle. Drag and drop that into the animations folder here. And this is going to be pretty important here. So it is a skeletal mesh, but we already have the mesh for it, so we don't want to import it again. And then we need to assign it the mesh that we were using before, or the default mesh, or sorry, the default skeleton. And all of that should be pretty good. We'll import that. We can ignore that error there. And I can tell already we're going to have to make some adjustments. So let's just double click on that. It looks great, although it's the wrong rotation. So let's fix that. If we go to the left on the asset details here, scroll down to transform, we can adjust the import rotation. Let's just try -90. Go up to re-import animation. And there we go. Now it matches our other ones here. Great. Let's do the same for the walking animation. I've also noticed that with Mixamo animations, it's gives you a T-pose as well. I'm actually just going to remove that. We do not need that. Okay. So let's get our walking animation. Grab that, put that in there. It is a skeletal mesh. We don't want to import the mesh. And then we choose our existing skeleton. Import. Again, I forgot to fix the import rotation, so let's do that again. There we go. Okay, file, save all. Okay. Now let's just go ahead and swap out our animations. If we go to our first-person animation blueprint again, double-click on the idle, and get our scary clown idle in there. Compile. We'll see our changes there. There we go. Looks pretty good. Go to our run animation node here. And swap it out with our walk. There we go. Now you won't see this yet because this reflects the animation state that it's in. I believe if we go to animation preview edit, we can sometimes adjust the values. There we go. Now we can see that our animation has been replaced here. There we go. Compile, save. Let's just go back to our scene and test it out. Oh, one more thing. We do need to get rid of the gun that's there. So let's go back to our first person character. Go to the gun. Get rid of that. Don't need the sphere either. You can try compiling it, but we're going to get an error here. So let's go back down to the compiler results. Go to target. And we don't need this anymore because we're no longer attaching the gun to the mesh here. So we can just delete that, compile, save. All right, let's take a look. Okay. Could use some adjustments, but we've successfully replaced them here. Okay. Let's do some adjusting. Go back to our first person character, Go to the viewport. Let's get our arms, and let's just... Oh, yeah, those are all sorts of messed up. Let's adjust the rotation, or reset the rotation here. We can... If you have 2 monitors, this is a lot easier, but... we can take a look at our viewport here and kind of adjust it to what we need while we're adjusting it in our blueprint here. And you'll see what I mean here in a second. Let's move this down. There we go, now we can see. Okay, grab our mesh. I'm thinking we just need to rotate it up a little bit. Actually, Control Z. I'm gonna move it back first. Wait, sorry, forward first. Then rotate it. Then we can kind of adjust it here. Oh man. We can turn off our grid. Sure. Okay. Let's give that a try. Yeah, okay. That's better. Oops. We can still adjust it some more. Maybe back one more. Yeah, great. Yeah, and later we can add some like action animations. So like whenever you're picking something up, it can do a specific animation pose, and then whenever you're letting it go, it can do a specific animation there. But that's going to be more of the animation blueprints lessons. So, but hopefully this helps you out with just getting something in the game that's not the default stuff. I wanted to show you one more thing, and this might work better for your use case, but what we're gonna do is, instead of making the mesh follow the camera, we're going to make the camera follow the mesh to maybe give a more immersive effect, but you'll see what I mean here. So first off, we're just going to get the first person camera by itself. So let's just temporarily attach the mesh there to the inherited mesh there. Doesn't matter really what you attach it to. So now we have our first person camera by itself. What we're going to do is just attach the first person camera to the mesh here. And then from there, we can go to the parent socket over here. We can scroll down, go to the head. And now it's probably going to look all messed up, but that's okay. Let's just reset the rotation, reset the location, and then rotate it to a better position. I've noticed that it's on its side, so let's fix that. There we go. Oops. Okay. Looks good to me. And this is the effect that it gives. You can actually look down and see the animations that are playing. And then this might work better if you had a full body, so you could look down and see your full body. But this might look better for your game. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now. You have yourself a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.